Hello and welcome to this video where I briefly describe to you what's going on in our Patreon space. So we've had a major reshuffling of the people who are involved in making How to Be a Great GM the success that it has been today, and that is our wonderful marketing goblin and our web goblin. It's now just the web goblin and myself, and of course all the Patreons who have been so wonderfully supportive in the past and who continue to do so to this very day, and hopefully into the future as well. But what are the Patreons getting now that we're moving forward? Well, there are many tiers that are on the Patreon group, but the two that I want to talk to you most about, because they're the ones that I think are of the most benefit to everybody, is the tier $10 tier channel, $10 tier, and the $15 tier, which is where you get maps, such as one on the screen now, you get modules, such as the one on the screen now, and you get the setting of Braxia, such as on the screen now. Now, all of these come together in a way that I think is of benefit to you. The modules have been written in such a way that they are not 50-page tomes that will require you weeks and weeks and weeks of play. They are 1 or 2 pages of ideas for a specific adventure. So, in other words, you're not getting adventure with multiple legs and all this kind of thing. What you're doing is you're getting sparks. You're getting, here's an adventure set in this particular castle, this incident happens, your players investigate it, and they have a basic outcome. However, there are many rooms for you to seed other adventures. Now, throughout the course of every month, we'll release more and more of these, and yes, they link together, so if you start playing from Adventure 1, you'll have Adventure 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and so on to play throughout the course of the year, and they are linked together. However, because I feel that creativity is inherent in all of us, oftentimes what I will do is I will leave the names of NPCs and of locations blank. This means you can fill them in yourself to create your own personalized adventure, which means that in 5 years' time you could run exactly the same adventure with different characters' names in different locations, and it would still feel fresh. So a lot of these adventures are ideas that have come out from the channel in terms of this is a mystery one, this is a combat one, this is a this is an etc, etc, etc. Now the maps are designed in a similar way. So for example, the city of Howden Lee is a complete map, and it's designed to be a handout to players because the detail and the information on the map is such that it is for an overview and for an idea and for a sampling of what the city is like. The Castle Daide, which is in one of this month, I think it's this month's release, has blank on it. This means you fill in what is in each room. What is the name of the castle? Where is it located? And you'll notice that the castle map, and you'll see it on screen now, is not just the 5 levels of the castle, but it's also a general geography overview. So where is the castle situated and what is the surrounding areas that one might find, surrounding the castle. The entire intent is that, although the setting is prescriptive, the modules and the maps are not, and they allow you to add in your own campaign, your own personality, your own narratives and your own NPCs into the mix. Now, just in case names are something that you're not particularly comfortable with and you haven't watched the video on how to come up with cool names, there is also in every single one of the modules a list of at least 10 names that would suit that space, or those creatures, or the monsters, or the NPCs. And you can just select a name and drop it in at your leisure. So you're not being abandoned completely. There is some stuff there for you to make use of. Now also, something that's very important is both the castles, the maps, as well as the modules are all not specific to any adventure. So you won't find any stats for the monsters that are in the modules. You will find, however, in one of the columns, GM notes. Now that section is devoted specifically to thoughts that I had whilst writing the module, where I've written things like, oh, make this a tough fight. So you can now go and spec it accordingly. I don't know what system you're using, I don't know what system your monsters might use, so that I've left blank, and that's entirely for you to fill in, or to make up on the fly, as I would advocate anyway. So there's notes that I've left you. Here you can seed in this. There's a riddle with an undead parrot in one of the future modules where I've said if the players want to keep the parrot, it demands to be taught a new riddle once a month. So it becomes this endearing little NPC that only wants to eat the spirit of crackers, which means the players have to eat the cracker first to cause the cracker to die, effectively allowing the parrot to eat the ghost of the cracker. So there's all kinds of little things in there, and they're all in the GM notes, as well as then, of course, a full description. Now, that is just something that we are doing for Patreons to say thank you for the support that we get from everybody, as well as to help encourage all of you to look and say, well, you know, that's not very difficult, and it plays out very simply but rather entertainingly. And if we look at the grand scheme of things that unfold over 6 or 7 modules, we start to get a sense of how to have that master plot woven into lots of little individual adventures as well. Now, of course, each of the modules is, although they do link together, they can also be used as standalone. So you have a session coming up on a Thursday night and you haven't planned anything and you're not very good at thinking of things on the fly, pull out module number 3 or number 2, which is the traveling over the seas module. Your players are in a boat, so it works perfectly. Or pull out module number 6, where they're on a road and they get attacked by various things. It just happens to work as well. So the modules work on their own as well as in a collective. So hopefully that gives you some insight as to why the Patreons are as loyal as they are. And of course then we have the Facebook support, where there's a Patreon only page, and that's where a lot of discussions and polls and sharing of information comes through, and a lot of support, which is something that I particularly like. Is that I'm not as active as I maybe should be on the Facebook page, because, well, you know, it's Facebook and things happen, but everybody else is, and that's the important thing, is everybody else can learn from everyone else. There's a lot of other things that are in the works that are going to be coming up shortly. That'll be for Patreons only, but that's in the far future. Until then, I hope to maybe see you as a Patreon, or, and this is the important thing, if you're not a Patreon and if you can't commit to being a Patreon, and we understand everybody has their requirements and limitations and things, there is also the Amazon store, which is now active on our website, and you'll see links and things in various videos moving forward. And all of that does is it allows you to link through to Amazon, and then we derive a small commission fee from having got you to Amazon via our website. So that is another way that you can support us in terms of, well, I like the channel and I really want to see the channel carry on and move forward and change and have cool backdrops and all that kind of stuff made. And so I'm going to support by going through that Amazon link to go and buy my duvet set or my next set of dice. And we obviously are going to put up onto that things that we ourselves purchase and make use of on a regular basis, because they are important to us, and, well, perhaps they could be important to you too. Anyway, thank you for taking the time to watch this video and to understand all of what is involved in being a Patreon of the channel. And I hope that you have derived benefit from the videos in the past. And I just want to let you know that with the support of our Patreons, there will be many, many videos in the future. So stay with us. Until then, happy gaming.